looked at the map, and it's apparent that when you build the rail line, even from South Pinellas to North Pinellas, that the rail line goes in a straight line, but the people who live in Pinellas County don't live in a straight line.
And you know what? That's no different than these other rail lines,
right.
you know?
Now, had they built the railroad in 1880, that's a different story.
Right.
They would have lived that way. But they didn't, and they don't, and they won't.
And you're absolutely right. And the interesting comment that was made recently by, and I cannot remember if I think it was somebody from PSTA, the Pinellas Transit Authority, made a comment about they're going to build this rail. And really what the rail is, and they will tell you, the only reason why light rail's in that referendum is economic development. Transit-oriented development. And one of the most kind of bizarre comments made recently by the PSTA is, you're going to build this rail, and then you're going to have all this economic development where today vacant Kmart's are. I mean, I thought that was kind of a strange thing to say, but that shows you that rail really is not about mobility. You're right, it doesn't go where people want to go. They're trying to build a corridor and then get development around it, because that's the only way anybody would take the train.
So are people using the high-speed bus lanes and the high-speed bus things in Tampa and that area that have been made as a result of the pressure on transportation?
Absolutely. In fact, the Metro Rapids has been a very huge success in Hillsborough. And when you look at what Hillsborough is doing versus Pinellas, I did a blog recently called A Tale of Two Transit Agencies. And if you remember the Tale of Two Cities, it's so different. Hillsborough is looking at their 10-year plan of expanding their bus service, looking at trying to build up some more bus rapid transit, and doing it in a fiscally responsible way. Now, we understand over time they may need some more money, but they're doing it in a way that in an incremental fashion. And buses can be, they're much more efficient in that they can get you closer to where you want to be, rather than a fixed rail corridor.
It's flexibility. If people aren't riding this line, then you move the bus over here where there's more people, then they'll ride the line. So,
And that's right. And then the other side of the argument will say that, well, if you've got a rail corridor, then people are going to want to live and work around this train station or this rail corridor. But that's really not the case, especially in Florida. We're a very dispersed population. Pinellas is built out, so it is different from Hillsborough. But personally, I think a lot of people that came down here from the Northeast, I don't think they came down here to ride a train.
I don't think so. In fact, I have a very funny story. I have a friend who wouldn't fly. She would not fly. And her husband liked to drive, but she said, I'm not going to fly to Florida. So she took the car train, because she was afraid to fly because of the airplane crash, a couple of them, whatever. So she took the car train, and she was on the one that crashed. Now she flies.
Well, I guess that's one thing. But on that point, I will say that as we have built out more rail systems, the legacy systems, the Northeast, the New York, Chicago, San Francisco, LA, Boston, those systems are in need of maintenance.
Oh, yeah.
And we keep building out new, and we can't maintain those big, heavy rail systems that really do need some probably heavy investment to just keep them running so that we don't have accidents, because the worst thing that we do not want to happen is that there's a major accident like we've had just recently. Not that I'm not sure what the cause of that one was, but we don't want that to happen in any loss of life.
No, we had an accident in Fairfield, Connecticut on the New Haven line, and there are new rail cars. The new rail cars are a little bit lighter than the old ones, and you feel them moving more, which is a kind of inviting an accident at some point in time, because they're not as grounded as the older cars were. But the accident that just happened near Tarrytown, New York, was an older train, but that was a different situation, speeding around a curve. But they already had systems in place to warn for that. They just weren't using it on that train.
Yeah, that is a tragedy.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, though, light rail, I have seen because I get alerts on that particular topic. A lot of the alerts are accidents and crime. So we've seen, when you talk about building out these rail stations, what they're seeing is crime rates going up, and some of it's more, you might call the petty, but it's people taking your electronic gadgets,
they're into iPhones and
into
stuff
the
like
iPhones
that.
or iPads and that kind of stuff, as well as the accidents. And the accidents are pretty amazing because it's animals, it's pedestrians, it's bicyclists, it's cars, and light rail.
Yeah. Well, anyway, thanks for filling us in on this progress that's being made in this area with transportation. I hope that we keep tabs on it, and we'll have you keep tabs on it because you're the watchdog and you have the eye on Tampa Bay.
Well, thank you, Lou. I appreciate that, and I look forward to being back.
Oh, you own the show. Come on. Thank you, Sharon Calvert.
Thank you.